Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Stacey West YouTube channel. I'm your host for tonight, Ben, and I'm joined by Emily. How you doing? You all right?
Hi, Ben. Yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to exciting things happening at Stacey West over the close season. So,
Me
yeah,
too.
no,
There's not a lot of excitement in the close season, but for
no,
us, there's plenty bubbling away, so that's nice.
yeah, we've got some good things planned. So get yourself subscribed and stay, just hit the bell and all the rest of the stuff that they ask you to do on YouTube. But yeah, we've got some nice things coming up, including what is probably the strangest event that I've seen us be part of. So next week, obviously, we have been told that the new home kit is going to be unveiled next week by the football club, and we were planning an event, and the club were planning an event, and basically they kind of fused together at some point. So next week we will be a part of the official unveiling to the Gold Plus members of the new home shirt, which let's face it, it's quite exciting, isn't it?
It's really exciting. Yeah, it's great to be involved in something like that and to get a sneak preview of the shirt before it's released. More widely than that. It's a really good opportunity for us, and exciting to be able to put our questions to the management team, and to Liam and to Jez as well. Really kind of give them a bit of a grilling on some of the hot topics that us and a lot of the other fans want to know about last season and looking ahead to next season as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and absolutely. And of course, with it being the kit reveal, this isn't a podcast episode. This is a special sort of one-off video that we're hoping it might be a bit of an evergreen one, so it'll say because it involves history of things. And the last one we did quite well, to be fair, as well. I think me and Gaz did the best deadline day signings a while back. But because it's YouTube and because it's the close season, we've not actually got football to talk about. We're doing a tier list. So yeah, we have a list here of Lincoln City home kits. So we asked around in the Stacey West group chat, and basically we had a big list of kits. We said, right, give us your two best and your two worst Lincoln City home shirts of all time. And there's one in particular I think might cause a little bit of debate going, when it comes round. But yeah, we've got 15 kits here, so we're going to list them. And we'll have a quick chat about them, and then we'll decide where they go on the list. So we've got 5 categories. We've got Hall of Fame for obviously the absolute cream of the crop, decent, average, not the best, and get in the bin. Well, to be fair, there have been some that I think are get in the bin worthy on this list, and you can probably see just at the bottom there the list as we're going in. So we will start with the earliest ones on the list, and sort of explain who put them forward. So first up, we have the 1982-1983 shirt. I think the image that I have there is actually a reproduction, because I think the actual logos themselves were slightly smaller. But again, trying to find decent pictures from the 82-83 season on the internet, not the easiest thing to do. But yeah, I mean, your thoughts on the oldest kit that we have to discuss here today, Emily?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind this kit. I think it's quite nice. I think it adheres to the traditional red and white stripes, which we may hear a lot of throughout this throughout this video. I like the Adidas logo as well. I think
Yeah.
that's got something iconic about it, hasn't it? So yeah, it's a good one for me. I quite like it.
Yeah, and I think for me, this is where this was before the era where like the things that made the kit were you have the manufacturer, the logo, and the sponsor. Like for me, those 3 things, when you get them right, the rest of the kit kind of doesn't matter all that much as long as you get the big elements right. And yeah, like you say, here you've got the classic Adidas logo, the classic imp, and then just bang, here you go, no frills, no messing. It's 3 red and white stripes, obviously different thicknesses on them, but I mean it's a classic Lincoln City shirt. If you were to give that to someone and say, draw me a Lincoln City shirt, you'd probably end up with something like that, wouldn't you? So
You would. It's textbook. It's textbook Lincoln City.
yes, absolutely. So let's kick this off. Where does the 82-83 shirt land on our list? Do we think it's in the Hall of Fame because of that Adidas logo, or do we think it probably? Because I think it definitely ends up somewhere around decent or the top one, doesn't it?
I was going to suggest the decent category for me because I don't think it's groundbreaking, but it is, like we say, it's textbook. So for me, I think it sits in decent. Do you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. I think there are better ones on this list. There are obviously worse ones on this list, but yeah. So right, there we go. The 82-83 shirt falls in the decent category. So next up, we have the 1990-91 shirt. Now, the interesting thing about this one, I think the replica shirt came with the white Pickford logo, but I think from when they actually played in this kit, it was a yellow logo. So I don't know if that changed as part of the sponsorship deal or whatever, but it was slightly different to this when people played in it. Now, obviously, you can see on the shirt itself, there's a bit of a texture to it. Match winner as the manufacturer. The sort of retro imp that we now have in the current day as the logo. And this was the first one on our list with a proper collar, Emily.
Yes, it is. I think he's got. We've talked about the Pickford sponsors logo on the front. I think a big part of as you said, of a shirt is the sponsor, and I think either the sponsor can make a shirt and you remember it by, oh, that's the shirt with that sponsor on it, or if it kind of blends in so much that it becomes part of the shirt. That's also a positive thing as well. But yeah, this one for me, I think this is, again, it's pretty classic Lincoln City, but I don't think it's pushing any design boundaries. For me, I feel like this one is it's okay. It's a classic. It's what we come to expect.
Yeah.
The collar,
it's standard.
take it or leave
standard Lincoln City, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah, you can't go wrong with it, but it's not gonna, it's not gonna live long in the memory. Certainly not for me anyway.
Okay,
mainly because
right.
I don't think I was born, but
that makes me immediately feel old. So thank you for that one. So right, okay, let's pop this one on the list. Then I'm guessing that you're going to say that it's probably going to go drop into the average category here.
Yes, it's average for me.
Okay,
but I'll happily be persuaded another way.
So I would probably say that this sits in decent, but below the 82-83. So the further along to the left they are, the better the kit is. So I'd probably say it would probably sit here, just next to it, or because I think the other question is how much do we want to annoy Gary? Because this is one of his favourites. So I think if we put it here, if we put it in decent, because I know I said that there's something about you get the 3 elements right. I actually really like a sponsorless kit as well.
Yes,
there's something nice and just clean about it, particularly when you have sponsors that aren't that great. So yeah, the 82-83 just edges it for me over 90 and 91.
Okay, happy to keep it there.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, that's where that one is going to sit then. So 1990, 91 is going in there. So we're starting to get into an era where I would probably have more fleeting memories of games than anything. And this one, annoyingly, I had to get a photo of the retro shirt because again, the actual pictures aren't that great. But it does show that the fact there was a retro shirt made kind of shows that it had some it lived fondly in the memories of some. So this is the 92-93 shirt. Again, the original was match winner, kind of similar to the Pickford shirt in a way, but this is where if you were to ask me, like, what would a Lincoln City shirt be, I grew up in the era where it was right, the Echo's on the front. And this is where that really started to kick in, 92, 93. So, yeah, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think this one's got a lot going for it. We've seen the retro but now current Imp crest, which I'm a big fan of. I think you're right that the Lincolnshire Echo sponsor that's iconic as well. I think when I started going to watch Lincoln City, the kind of the Lincolnshire Echo on the front of the kit was a big thing. There was the Lincolnshire Echo stand that was a thing, and I think people still refer to the stand as that now.
Yeah.
And just I have very vivid memories of my dad going to pick up a green Echo from from the paper shop to get the sport. So I feel like that sponsor just kind of really resonates with the kind of nostalgia in me around the club. And this kit, it reminds me of, when I look at that, completely different era, but I see Elliot Whitehouse scoring at Wembley in it.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's the little black collar. I'm
Yeah.
sure that kit had a little black collar. I sort of see that when I see that black collar. So I like that about it as well. So it's ticking all the boxes for me at the moment.
Okay. I mean, this was one of Chris's top two. And I think this is one of the only I think it's one of the retro shirts that he actually owns as well. But yeah, obviously the actual original shirt didn't have the swirls printed on it. That was like part of the fabric of the shirt, similar actually to the Pickford shirt in that it had the kind of, some of it was like a satin finish and some of it was a bit glossy. So yeah, these swirls were actually sort of baked into the fabric, I guess. So this is where we probably have to choose and say who's more right. Is it Gary or Chris? Because I think this is another one that needs to go in the decent category.
Oh, do you not think it's a Hall of Famer?
Oh, well, you've thrown that out there now. And I was going to say, to me, it definitely goes there. But does this go into our first Hall of Fame ballot?
I mean, look, I've got the replica away shirt of that season, which is very similar in design, but obviously it's the yellow blue. And I love that. So,
ooh, go on then. We'll drop it in there.
It's
and
the
then let us
Echo
know.
For me. Yeah. The Echo just tips it into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the first season where it was a darker blue away kit, if I remember correctly. The one that they released as the retro, I think is coming up, the home kit equivalent. Which that's one, spoiler alert, that's one of my personal favorites. But there we go. So 92, 93 is the first one that drops into the Hall of Fame side. So next up we have 93, 94. Red and white stripes with a black pinstripe either side of the red. Again, Echo is the sponsor, match winner is the manufacturer, and then the sort of city crest there. So I think now's probably a good enough time to ask, what are your thoughts on shirt collars? Because I know that some people can get quite passionate about football shirts and the collars. I mean, the ones that we've had so far, 82, 83 just has your sort of V-neck, and then the other two have actually got proper collars on them. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I'm wearing a shirt with a collar on it right now, so I don't know. Do you know what? I don't know if I have a strong opinion on it. I think there's definitely been kits that I've liked with a collar on. Case in point, I'm wearing one. And there's been kits that have had a collar that I don't like. And I wonder if that comes down to the material of it or something that feels a bit, kind of up round your neck. But then I also think that shirts without a collar, I found that this season's shirt, I didn't like the neck on that, and that didn't have a collar. And so, in short, it's a mixed bag, Ben, honestly.
I suppose when you say about the material, I mean, this one, so 93, 94, it's that kind of stretchy collar, isn't it? Where it's almost like a concertina effect when you pull on it, as opposed to one that we're going to look at shortly. And I think the 92, 93, where it's just a ring of fabric, essentially. But yeah, I really like this kit. It's traditional with a slight twist, which I think is probably where I tend to enjoy them a bit more.
Mhm.
Um, I think this one goes in the Hall of Fame category. Go
Wow.
on, argue against.
What I would say for this one is the stripes for me are a little bit too thin. And you're going
Okay.
into, and for me, it goes into barbershop pole red and white territory as opposed to Lincoln City red and white striped shirt territory. That would be
Okay.
my only critique.
Okay.
But
What is the
I can see how passionate you are about this shirt, Ben.
what is the perfect number of stripes then, Emily?
Oh,
Because
I can't.
we've had so far, so we've had 82, 83, which was literally three red stripes across
Yeah.
the whole thing with two white stripes in the middle. We've had 1991, which is sort of 5 and 4, and then
Mhm.
we've had 92, 93, which is 3 but framed by the white, I guess. And then we've
Mhm.
now got this one, which is more still.
I think I can't say I've counted the stripes on my favorite shirts, um, but this is too much for me.
Okay.
This is too much. I think the last two that we've seen both work well.
Okay.
This is maybe too much on the stripy front, but that is what we are. We are red and white.
Okay. Right. We'll compromise then.
Okay.
We will compromise, and I'll put it. Oh, I'll bring the tier list actually back into frame. We will compromise, and we will pop this at the top end of decent.
Okay. I feel like I will have to do some compromising later as well, so I'm happy
Oh,
to
there's
let you
going to be a
have
full blown argument. Not quite as much as if a couple of the other lads were on, but yeah, there will be some heated discussion, I imagine, shortly.
Yep, yep. Strap in, everybody. Brace yourselves.
So next up is one of my choices for the best home kits that we've had. That is 96-97. Now, made by Admiral, again with the classic sort of city crest on there that's framed by a little shield. Echo is the sponsor, button-up collar. And the reason that I love this is because this is my first ever Lincoln City shirt. I had this as a 10-year-old, and I thought it was the best thing in the world. And the thing I think that swings it for me is the logos. So the manufacturer logo, the club crest, and the sponsor. They were all this kind of like foam that was.
I
It
know what you
was
mean. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was stuck on, and it felt like spongy. I've seen some horror stories about them just like disintegrating over time, but I've still got my shirt of this, and it's it's still holds up.
Mhm.
So you know my feelings on it. So go on, dissuade me from putting it top of the list.
Well, I think that there's a theme here in the kind of shirts that you like, Ben, and it's stripy, all the stripy ones.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of stripes on this. Too many for me, too many for my liking. I'm also not a big fan of the buttons.
Okay.
Makes it look quite formal. Like
Mm.
you put a jacket on and you're in a barbershop quartet. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting from this shirt. Not one for me, but I understand the nostalgia factor for you, in that regard as well.
It's if we're not unanimous, I can't put it in the Hall of Fame.
No, I mean I would go as far as to put this in bad.
Oh, Emily. Oh, we're gonna fall out. Um, I can't bring myself to put it in the average category because
Okay.
it holds a special place in my heart. But I appreciate this is a democracy as much as we as much as we tend to argue otherwise. So I will put this at the lower end of decent.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. So the next one, and this is one where Chris kind of, I think he's gone a little bit left field with one of his favorite picks, 98-99. So This was the season after we got relegated. Obviously, you know, the 90. No, sorry, was it the 97-98 season we went up? This was the season in Division 2, as it was, if I remember that correctly. So we had this as our shirts for that season. Alstom was the sponsor. It was the first time that we didn't have the Echo as a sponsor. Super League was the manufacturer. I think it was the second season in a row that we had them. But it's a bit of a departure. Like, you know, they'd gone the traditional red and white stripes. We've got one thick white stripe in the middle, couple of red stripes either side, and then thin white stripes with black finishing and plain red sleeves. So yeah, I can see that this could be a controversial pick for some. However, I really like it.
I also really like it, and this has the exact same nostalgia factor for me as the previous shirt had for you, in that this was the first season that I started, that I'd gone to watch Lincoln City. I was a mascot in this kit when I was 7. I entered a competition. You had to draw a picture of your favourite footballer and send it into the club, and I drew a picture of David Seaman and said he was my favourite footballer because he looked like my dad, which basically meant he had a moustache. But I won. So I got to be a mascot. So I have fond memories of this shirt. There's a photo of me with Gavin Gordon, both of us looking very, very young. But I really like it. I like that it's a variation on a theme of red and white stripes. It works for me. And like I say, nostalgia factor as well. It's I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's I have my own mascot story as well. It was that 96-97 season, the last game of the season, I was a mascot, and I didn't wear that shirt. I wore a different shirt because it was back in the day when they revealed the home shirt on the last day of the season, and then they
Right.
played they played the last game of the season in that shirt. And I think there was something about it where, as part of the mascot package at the time, you were supposed to get a shirt, but I didn't get a shirt because it was the new shirt that wasn't on sale yet. So
Ah.
I couldn't have the shirt that I was mascotting in, which
Yeah.
was a bit of a shame.
I don't remember being given this shirt though to take home. Maybe they
That
stopped
may have
that.
changed then, yeah, because
Yeah, maybe they stopped it.
I think you definitely get a shirt now as part of the package, but yeah, back in the day, I'm not sure. But we are discussing other things away from this shirt. But yeah, I think this is this is one of the ones where I think they've tried to do something different and they've got it right. Yeah, and I know they released this as a retro kit as well. The retro kits, some of them don't have the sponsors on them, and I know the Echo ones now do, but this one doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think, oh,
Can we put it there?
well, that depends. Do we drop it
Have we
in?
done double Chris at the top of the table?
I think we have.
I can't argue with the kit choices.
You can't
then.
argue with taste.
No, the man has taste. You can't say what you like about the stats. The man's got taste.
And
He knows a
plenty
good
do.
kit.
Yeah, I mean they are both very good. Yeah, they're both really good kits. So the next one, which is I quite like it, but there's one thing about it that it will drastically color my decision.
Okay.
So the next one is 99 2000. So this was when we had Avec as the sponsor, and then this was again, sorry, Avec as the manufacturer, Alstom as the sponsor. We had the club crest, the city crest rather, and yeah, this again goes back to sort of some of the other kits. Is like you give a kid some crayons and say, right, draw me a Lincoln City shirt, and this is what they would draw. On the face of it, this is kind of a standard Lincoln City shirt that is good. I wasn't the biggest fan of those chevrons on the sleeves for the AVAC logo. But there's one thing, and it's not actually in this picture because it's on the back. One thing that annoys me no end about this shirt. And if you've seen the whole of the shirt, you may be able to tell what it is. Now, if you want to give your opinion on this while I try and find an image of that, because I did have one, but I didn't put it in the deck. So if you bear with me while Emily just gives you her view on the shirt.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as to what it is that you're going to mention because I don't know if I know, so I'm interested to see what it's going to be. Yeah, for me, it's red and white stripes, and I think it's average. I think it's an average shirt. I'm not going to get excited about it, but I'm not going to hate it either. Wasn't a huge fan of that crest, although at the time
Yeah.
I guess it was the crest, but now I love the one we have now. So in comparison to that, I don't think the crest is up to much. For me, it's average. It's average.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the first one that we throw into that average category, and annoyingly I can't find the image now, but I don't know if it was all of the AVEC shirts, but this one in particular, it was fine on the front, and then when you turn it around, it was just red and white stripes all the way down, what you'd expect. And then at the bottom, they had the worst, and I probably do mean the worst, like white oval with like clip art font that just said "The Imps."
Ooh,
And it was
I
like, this
remember
is a
it.
really nice shirt, and you've cheapened it. What have you done?
I can't remember it.
I will
Let's
dig
find
a
it.
photo out if I can find it before I do the edit. I will put an image in here. But yeah, it just cheapened it for me. So I think you're right. I think this is the first one that is going to drop into average,
Yeah.
just because of that. Like it was annoying. So there we go. Right, let's see if I can make that a bit bigger. There we go. Right, so we have our first average shirt. Now we have one where I'm either going to be very scared of Emily,
I'm not
or
scary, Ben.
not yet. Yeah, this is one that I think probably splits people right down the middle, and I think that is exactly what it was designed to do. Ironically, when you see the design of it, is the 2000-2001 home shirt. Now, the infamous quartered design, as it were. Now, you had this as one of your favorites.
Yeah.
No, yes, as one of your
Yes,
favorites.
I did. Yeah.
And Gary had this as one of his worst.
Yeah.
So, defend your case.
This kit is one of my favorite kits, because I like the variation on a theme of red and white stripes. I think it was something a little bit different, and I think this was the first season that I had a season ticket. So again, it could be the nostalgia that's talking here, because this was the kit that sticks in my memory the most. I'm thinking Justin Walker, one of my all-time favorite ever players, but that's probably because he was my first ever favorite player. I'm thinking John Finnegan.
I used to go to the football with some people that they had a substantial teenage crush on Justin Walker, shall we say?
Yeah, I think at the time, what I must have been about 10, 11. So I think it was the floppy blonde hair. When I think of Justin Walker, I think of that era. I think of all those players, and it means something to me. And for that reason, I'd like it to be not the worst kit. Anything above the worst, really.
Anything above the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think there'll be a lot of people that will disagree with me, quite frankly, on this one. I think this is a controversial pick.
I think it is divisive, and I think it's because when you think of quartered shirts in the lower leagues, you think of the likes of Bristol Rovers, and to me at the time, that this felt like oh, cool, right, we've taken a Bristol Rovers template and we've just gone in with the paint bucket on Photoshop and just hit red in all the blue bits. Again, yeah, it's not one of my favorites, if I'm honest. It's not one of the worst kits that we've had, but it was definitely very divisive.
Okay. I understand.
Again, it's the same thing with that crest. So that crest, obviously the city crest, I like that crest, but what I don't like what they did with this era of shirts, where they made the shield sort of oversized and had it as red, so you don't have like a defined badge. You have just a red blob with the quadrants in it. Yeah, it's not in my favorite kits for sure. So
Maybe we
I
split the difference on this one. What do you think?
I think we put this one in average.
Okay.
As
That's
much as I
fine.
know that hurts,
It could be worse. It could be
it could
worse.
be worse.
If
It
I
could
was
be
on with
worse.
if I was on with Gaz, he'd have
I was going to
just put
say
it in
Gary could be
bin
hosting
regardless.
this. Yeah, Gary could be hosting this, and his word would be final, and it would be get in the bin. So, all right, we will put that in average. The next one, I'm pretty certain I know exactly where this one is going, because I hated it. And of the 5 people that submitted their responses, 4 of them said that this is the worst home shirt that we have ever had. It's 2001, 2002.
Ooh, the spray paint can shirt.
Yeah, it's like cool. Yeah, just mask off the white bits and then use a spray can, and then oh shit, we've run out. That's essentially what seems to have happened. Like somebody was let loose on Photoshop, and this is what happened.
I owned this shirt though. I did
So
own
did
this.
I. Yeah, so
Yeah,
did I.
yeah. Why anyway? That's what
It's
football
what you
does to
do,
you.
isn't it? You buy them even if they're bad. This was the first one with the kind of the semi return of the classic imp in the city crest. So you had the city crest with the retro imp and then the imp scrawled across it. But yeah, this shirt was awful. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed it. It's just bad all round.
Yeah, I agree. Not a fan of this. I just can't imagine the conversations that were happening around the table of, oh, why don't we try
Yeah,
this
yeah. I mean,
monstrosity?
I don't think there are any. I don't think there are any redeeming features about this shirt. I think this was potentially around the time they took things in house with the manufacturing, or at least used a local company. Because this is Imp Sport, so it was a relatively relatively local manufacturer. Yeah, it just doesn't do anything for me at all.
No, me neither. Get it in the bin.
It is going purely in the bin. Oh, I'll bring the thing. There we go. Just so that we have the animation of it doing it. Plop. There we go.
There it is. We
It's
need
in
a
the
little
bin.
sound effect, like a little of it, like smashing or something.
Absolutely. So next up, and I think this is probably where that combination comes in that I was talking about earlier. Yes, I have just said that using Imp Sport probably wasn't the best for that kit, but a couple of years later, I think they got it right. This is the 2003 2004 shirt. We had the same shirt for a couple of seasons, but I think this was the reason I picked this one instead of the was it the 0203? No, it was the 0203 shirt. Is because of the sponsor. So Alstom with a sponsor 2002 2003, and then 0304 we kept the same shirt, but we had Siemens on the shirt as the sponsor. But this is the Millennium Stadium shirt. This is the playoff shirt. This is the Keith shirt for me. And I picked this one as one of my best because again, it's my era of supporting Lincoln City for the first time. It's like, oh, this is amazing. Like that season of the one with Alstom as the sponsor is like, oh, we nearly went bust, and now we've gone to Cardiff. That whole arc was just unbelievable. And then the following season, it's like, oh, we've got the same sponsor as Real Madrid now.
Yes, one of my favorite like trivia questions that I like to just randomly quiz people on is Siemens have only sponsored 2 football teams ever. Can you name them? And people do get Real Madrid, and they never get Lincoln City. And I think that's a really nice, fun fact.
I never knew that they'd only sponsored 2. That's a good pub quiz question.
Yeah, I mean that certainly used to be the case when I was trawling that around, unless they've done anything more recent than that. But it's a good little fun fact, and yeah, if I've got that wrong, please correct me in the comments below. But I like this too. Definitely brings back good memories of supporting Lincoln City, as you've said. And I like the crest placement in the center. A nice little change. That's nice to see as well. So
yeah, I was just about to say, like, the fact that everything's centered, it just lines up perfectly. It's like, cool, the badge is right, the manufacturer, we can give or take, but it's, you know, it's a nice logo at least. And then the sponsor, it's like, yeah, bang, 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 everything's perfect. I love a centered kit as well. So
yeah, I like this one.
I think then, does this mean that this is joining Chris's 2 picks?
I think it could do. I mean, I'd be tempted to put it in there for the fun fact alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say it's the sponsor thing. It is that cool, right? We know we have a sponsor that, again, I wasn't aware that there was only 2 clubs they've ever sponsored, but
don't make me question it now. I was confident on that fact, but
it's all right. It's YouTube. Someone will let you know if you're wrong. Yeah. So yeah, so that is the 03-04 kit, but it is also 02-03. You know, let's include the playoff run in there as well, because of course we need to. Right, the next one that we have coming up is this one here, which is 2004-2005. Now, this was one of your picks, Emily.
It was.
And I will allow you to introduce it and say whether you think it's one of the best or one of the worst.
So I picked this as one of the worst. And to be honest, there's just a really sort of nuanced reason as to why I think it's one of the worst. What I will say is I don't like the collar on this for whatever reason. Don't like the collar. I remember wearing it and not liking the feel of it. But all I can remember sort of with this shirt is I just sort of remember it didn't fit anybody.
Yep.
That's the image I have in my head. The image I have in my head is of Franny Green in a massive shirt that looked like he didn't fit him. And that's the reason I've put this as my worst pick, because it didn't fit anybody properly.
Yeah, it was like wearing a red and white bin bag, wasn't it?
yeah, they should produce those by the club, the merchandise angle.
But also, I remember having this shirt, and I remember the sponsor logo picking off everybody's shirt. It didn't stick together. It didn't feel right. You saw everybody sort of all shuffling and trying to pick it off the shoulders.
The material felt weird, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. Thick. Yeah, yes, yeah, it was. It felt like almost like an old school shirt, but not quite. It was. Yeah, I think this one definitely deserves to be in at least not the best.
Yeah, I think not the best. There's definitely some uglier shirts than this.
There's redeeming features about it, but it feels blocky and basic, I think is probably the way to say it.
Doesn't have the manufacturer on it either, so I don't even know who was the manufacturer of that one.
No, I think that might have been an in-house job, which didn't quite go to plan.
There's a theme here.
Yeah. Get someone that knows what they're doing in, and it becomes good. Right. So the next one, which is coming up, I think it's fairly obvious where this one's going to be going. This is 2011, 2012. Well, we've just said you get a good manufacturer and they know what they're doing. This one was made by Nike. And it's awful.
It's terrible. I mean, I think I've made it clear at the start of this video that too many stripes is not going to work for me. And this is too many stripes.
Yep.
A big chevron thing in the middle. If you look at it for long enough, I feel like you'll have some sort of an episode. It looks like one of those things and one of those
It's a
programs that they've
magic eye.
banned from the television.
It's a magic eye painting in a football shirt.
Yeah, you squint at it and pull away, and you just sort of see, like, I don't know, Steve
Oh,
Tilson's face or something.
it's a disappointing season. No,
Yes, yeah.
yeah, no, I this is an awful shirt.
Mm,
I mean, it
mm.
is basically Atletico Madrid, but from Wish.
Yeah, it is,
Like,
yeah.
it is awful. You can't see the sponsor. There's no like solid color behind it. Um, yeah, everything about this shirt is just rubbish. But the question that we need to answer: is it worse than the spray paint shirt?
It's
Because
just I think it's just as bad.
for me, you see, for
Ooh.
me, this was kind of during my self-imposed exile from football, so it doesn't have quite as strong horrible memories. But when you do look at it, you go, oh, that is an awful shirt.
Yeah, well, when I knew I was doing this video and made my picks, I sent that one to my dad and said, "Any thoughts, any memories, any insights from that season when you see this kit?" He just replied, "No." No, there's nothing to say about that season. It was just a nothing season.
Yep,
It was
I was going to say,
terrible
and if
shit.
Emily's dad doesn't know or can't summon up any memories from a particular season, that is the
So
definition of a nothing season. So,
yeah.
right, get in the bin. It's going at the bottom.
Mhm.
It is going. Oh well, no, all right. It's not worse than the paint can shirt.
Okay.
It's not worse than that shirt purely because, and I'm going to put this based on our submissions more than anything else. The paint can shirt had 4 of us that said it was the worst, and this one had 3 of us that said it was the worst. So
That's
that's
fair.
where it's going to sit. Um, Another one, I think this might be joining the bottom tier, although it may sit in not the best. I don't know. Let's have a look. So 2013, 2014.
Ooh.
If you can kind of ignore the background with all the shirts, with all the scarves rather, this is still a bad shirt, and it's a Nike shirt again. Were they all just like hi in the design meetings, and they just went, yeah, cool, we'll do this. This is a red and white shirt. It's like, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
what is it?
somebody probably went to them, Ben, and said, "I want to do it like this," and they went, "Okay, just do it." Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
I can't complain. I did say that I love a good pun, so there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything right about this shirt?
No, quite frankly, no. No. No.
I mean, we have red and white stripes, or we have a single white stripe. I believe the back was solid red as well.
Mm.
So
There's a
we have,
stripe round the
and there's a, yeah,
sleeve. Is that
but
supposed to be a stripe? Sort
that's
of
a
fallen
hoop.
off?
That's a hoop.
Oh,
Like
sorry, is it a hoop?
yeah, because you look at the other ones, for example. So like 0304, the stripes kind of go sideways on the shirt. So when your arms go, they hang down. But that one,
Mm.
it's a hoop, isn't it? It's like an armband.
It is like an armband. Yeah, it is like a hoop. You're right. It looks to me like it should be the stripe opposite the one that's already there, and it's just fallen off.
Well, maybe they just
Um,
expected everybody to run like that with their arm out, so it would be parallel.
yeah, yeah.
No,
There's nothing right about this. I don't like the sponsor. I don't like the design.
I mean, what did we say a little bit earlier? We like it when that centered design, when everything's centered and it looks lovely. Nothing is centered in this.
It
Literally,
looks like
like
they've thrown it together.
yeah, it's just like cool, right? We've got some elements. We know we need a sponsor. We know we need a badge. We know we need a manufacturer. Just chuck them at the shirt. Whatever sticks, that'll do.
Yeah.
This is awful.
Mm,
Absolutely awful.
I agree.
So we
I would
know
put
it's
this
going in.
bottom. I would put
You
that
put this
bottom of the
bottom.
bottom. Yeah, I would do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? After having rinsed it like we just have, I can't disagree.
No.
I think it needs to be at the bottom because it at least that one had stripes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yes. At least it was all lined up in a way that looked like it had been considered in some It looked like they ran out of time on the other one, didn't it? And they've gone, it's just red and white, just make it.
Yeah, they missed the S off the email when they said red and white stripes.
Yeah.
It's red and white stripe.
Yeah, I didn't own this one either.
No.
So that probably says a lot.
Yeah, no, it is not a good one. Right. So we have 2 left, and I'm sure you can see them at the bottom of the table there. Before we drop them in, something of a divisive one, but has very good memories associated with it. 2018, 2019. Gary had this one as one of his worst. And I can't disagree with him.
No, I'm with you. I think it's commonly known as the quick save carrier bag kit. And that's what it looks like. I'm not a fan of what they've done there with the little red bits in the quick save carrier bag element of it. However, I think you have to take into account the season that we had in the shirt.
Yeah, and we said before we started recording, look, if there are fond memories associated with the shirt, we'll obviously talk about them. You know, for me, 0304, that whole era was just like god tier of supporting Lincoln City. But we won League 2 in this shirt.
We did. Yeah.
How? Like it felt designed by committee in the worst possible way. You know, you have so much in there about like, oh, cool. Well, we need to have red and white stripes. That's fine. What if we also had little things like that? Yeah, that seems like all right. And then if I remember correctly, on the back, it was like the shield. So it was like it was plain red, but it was tapered at the bottom, and then the stripes go. There was just too much going on.
I know. I think this is a bad kit. It's definitely a bad kit. But I think the season has to save it. You know, I've got Bruno Andrade sort of in my head. You know, those sorts of players.
Banging one. Was this the one when he banged one in against Everton in the cup at home? And I think if the net and the stand weren't there, the ball would probably still be going today.
Yes. I think it probably was. Yeah, I can picture him in that shirt. I can picture sort of, you know, like, oh gosh, like Jason Shackle. Did he wear that shirt?
I think so. Yeah. For me, it's. I mean, I'm not going to shock you when I say who I'm reminded of in this shirt, because it's tough. But
yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know, this was the shirt where people kind of, if you hated the shirt, you had to love the season.
Yeah. So that rescues it a little bit for me out of getting the bin.
Yes. So it's probably it's been plucked out of the bin, and I think we'll have to put it in not the best.
I agree.
We'll have to put it there because it's not the best shirt, but the memories that are associated with the shirt, you've got to give it a bit of a pass for that, surely.
Yes.
So, okay. And then the final one from our list of 15 is Emily's favorite shirt. She's wearing it right now. 2020, 2021, the COVID season, the Brennan Johnson shirt, the Morgan Rogers shirt, the shirt we probably should have worn at Wembley, but we didn't because we wore the away shirt. This is I like it, and this is the perfect example of when we try and do something slightly different and they get it spot on. Because I do like pinstripes. I do like it when we have a pinstripe kit, but it just depends on, you know, have they made the pinstripes just a bit too thin, or do they just look like regular stripes that are a bit off, or whatever? But this, they got it so right, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I really like this kit. I think it's nice in its design, but I think the season for me makes it. It's probably the memories of that are better than the design, but it elevates it to up there for me. Like you say, it's Brennan Johnson. it's George Grant. It's that for me. And I got this out the drawer to put on special for this video, and just even putting it on, I was like, oh yes, I just like the feel of it. I like what it brings, the memories it brings back when I wear it. And I think, the COVID season, obviously, it was really tough times for a lot of people. And actually, not being able to go to the games was, it was devastating for, fans, especially seeing the season that we've had. But on the flip side of that, I watched more Lincoln City than I've ever seen any season before, because you could watch home and away online, which, you don't really get to do, in normal seasons. And yeah, I think that the success that we had, and looking forward to watching the games, albeit online, got you through the lockdown a little bit, and got you through those kind of difficult times, knowing that you had something to look forward to and that it was going really well. And yeah, I picture all of those players in it, particularly the Brennan Johnsons and the Morgan Rogerses, is I love it. Top tier for me.
Yeah, I'm struggling to argue, not just because of the memories that are associated with it, but I mean, just to look at, it's a really nice kit. It's the sort of tritone on the collar and the the neckline. It's just really really nice. And I
Yes.
think, if I remember rightly, this was when they started putting the cathedral in the back of the neck. So like if you look at the was it the on the it's on the inside. I won't
All
ask you.
right, I'm not
Don't worry,
gonna
I
I'm
won't
not
ask.
gonna
No.
reveal that. No.
But I think if you look at the top of that, I think this is where like they started printing, because the inside of the shirt is mainly white, and then you have like a sort of a collar of color, I guess, and on that was the cathedral. And it's like, yeah, they started to bring a few more elements in, and obviously this was before we switched back to the more retro imp, and it was like the traditional imp. I can't not put this in the top tier.
Yay.
It's just a lovely lovely shirt. I mean, the sponsor was, I think, one of those where obviously it had ties to the ownership, and I've been very critical in the past of clubs that have done that, where they've basically inflated their own shirt sponsorship worth to funnel money into the club. But this didn't feel, or it wasn't one of those instances where it's like, oh, we need a lot more money in, so what do we do? It's like, we need to find a shirt sponsor, otherwise we won't have one. And Clive and Peregrine sort of stepped up to the plate and put the money in. So yeah, it wasn't to inflate any numbers or anything like that. It was just kind of a necessity, and it summed up the time in the world, I guess, as well, didn't it? So
It did. Yeah, certainly did.
Yeah, right. So it's going in Hall of Fame. But let me just I can't make this any bigger than it is unless I do this. No, I can't. Excellent. So right. The Hall of Fame, where is it going in the Hall of Fame, Emily? Because I personally, I'm tempted to drop 98, 99 down a little bit. Maybe to there. So we say 98, 99, then 2021, then 03, 04, then 92, 93. Although I'm aware that I'm doing that primarily to get one of my picks higher up than everybody else's.
I mean, for me, like, look, this one is my favorite one, so I would put it at the top of the top. But I understand that's not for everybody.
How benevolent am I feeling? I'll tell you what. Let's put it there, because I do agree it's a lovely lovely shirt. So going from bottom to top, then 2013, 2014, awful one stripe shirt, horrible. Get out, get in the bin. The paint can shirt from 01, 02, that needs to get in the bin. The Atletico Madrid from Wish shirt from 2011, 2012, that's going in the bin. And then not the best, we've got 2018, 2019, which not the best shirt, but we won the league in it. So, all right. 2004, 2005, which was I tell you what, now we've discussed it, it looks, even from the picture, it looks like, you know, when you were a kid and you got those like paper things and you cut the clothes out and you hung the thing on there. The shape of that shirt is exactly like one of those. You're like, oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
The misshapen shirt, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Average, and I'm sure this is basically to counteract yours and Gary's opinions. This, you know, you love it, he hates it, so it sits in the middle. The 2000 to 2001 quartered shirt, 99 2000 is just above that, purely because of that awful text on the back. Into decent, we have 96 97, 90 91, 82 83, and 93 94. And then in the Lincoln City shirt Hall of Fame, and I will try and do this in the big screen just because I can do. We have in fourth, we have the 98 99 shirt, which was one of Chris's favorite picks. We have 2003 2004, which was one of my favorite picks. We have 2020 21, which was one of Emily's favorite picks. And then we have the 92 93 shirt, which I'm just going to re-upload in. There we go, 92 93, which was one of Chris's as well. I'm sure we'll get pelters from Gary because one of his isn't in the top. Unless of course we move 93 94 from decent up into Hall of Fame just to make him happy. But you're saying no. Okay, I'll tell him you said no, not me. That's all fine. But yeah, there we go. That is our tier list for Lincoln City home kits. Have you got any differing opinions? Let us know in the comments. I'm sure people will be reasonable. So yeah, let us know in the comments down below if you have any shirts that haven't made it into the list. We have probably a couple that were near misses. For me, I think 2021-22, when we had the different sponsors throughout the season, again, kind of to help recover from COVID. We had different sponsors bringing in money all the way through the season. That was a really nice shirt, particularly talking about sponsorless shirts earlier. You could buy it without the sponsor. And then I think you could put the sponsor on depending on which was your favorite, but I don't know how many people did that. And I know they did sell a couple with sponsors on them, but there we go. Yeah, let us know if we have missed any of your favorites, if you think any of our choices are wrong, and that, you know, you think, oh, actually, no, that 2021 shirt is absolutely honking. Let us know, and we'll let Emily come and find you, because I think there is a level at which you could objectively be wrong, and I'm pretty sure Emily would fight you on that one. But yeah, let's not forget the whole reason that we're doing this. We have a live podcast next Thursday night. Patrons and Gold Plus members. Patrons, I think that the spots have all gone. But if you are a Gold Plus member, you should have had an email. If you want to come along, get to see the new home shirt, and you get to see a live podcast where we will be putting a few questions to people, and hopefully, you know, they're not going to be the kind of questions that we get accused of asking. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a grilling, I think the club have put it as, haven't they?
They have. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think to have that opportunity to get those questions answered is going to be really valuable. There's also a Q&A at the end for the audience as well. So
yes,
if you are a Gold Plus member and you've got a burning question, come down and make sure you ask it. But yeah, really excited to see the new shirt. Let's hope it is another Hall of Famer.
Oh, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
It would.
We will probably, if this goes down well, we'll probably do away shirts and maybe third shirts. I mean, third shirts is going to be a bit of a shorter video, but away shirts, I'm pretty sure we could have some fun with the away shirt ones, because there have been some choices.
Yes,
there have been some choices. Yes. But look, no, yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Emily, thank you for coming on and discussing your favorite shirts with me.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
I'm sure we will have plenty more content to get done over the close season. I know we've got a few things in the works. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled, get yourself subscribed. And of course, there's only one more thing that we've got left to say. Up the Imps.
Up the Imps.